Hello, everybody. We're a little worried. Patsy, hello, Patsy. Um, Usually we have a few more people when we just before we get started.
That's Barb.
Well, Barb's here, okay? Because I don't know if you guys should be able to see that I have put in that feature that it has. Someone mentioned it last week. To avoid trolls, and you see the announcement that says I've turned on subscribers only mode. Only channel subscribers of 5 minutes or longer can send messages. Hi, Mozilla. Um, so I'm just wondering, this might tell me how many people are actually subscribed if they can't get in here. So you guys obviously are. So that's great. Oh, Sherry's here. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Donna. Hi, Suzanne. Okay, everybody's coming in now. All right. So yeah, that feature that's on there, hopefully will avoid the things like we last week we had with whatever that sex thing was that came up. Hi, Laurel. Aloha from Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii would be nice to be at right now, given the coolness we have. Well, we're not even close to cold.
Well,
Yeah.
it's cool outside. I was outside today. It's
I am
3 degrees Celsius, which is 37 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is a bit chilly.
Well, yeah, well, still fall.
I'm still only wearing a sweater when I go out. So
yeah, Patsy says I wasn't sure I would be able to comment, but I've been subscribed for a long time. Hello, Nadia. Yeah, well, I think this just stops. Like it says, I could set it for any time, but the default is 5 minutes, which means like those robots that come on, because that's what they are. They can't subscribe, at least if they can. It hasn't been figured out yet by whoever creates those stupid things. So it shouldn't be any problem. Hi, Marlene. So, anyways, we'll try it out today and see if this works. Hi, Sue. Working on my third Christmas gift quilt. 3 pillows and 2 stockings to go.
hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. Of course we're subscribed, Em says. Yeah, well, do I see people clicking on the likes? I only see 4 likes. Uh-huh. Glenna is here. Hi, Glenna. So hit that like button. You know, everybody is saying that on YouTube. So all the YouTubes I watch now, they're all saying this. There's almost like a competition. And I just finished watching the latest episode from the last Homely House, and even Kate says it now. And she says, and the reason is because it allows YouTube to recommend sites. Well, I'm not sure how effective that is, because I think it also depends on how many views you have and everything like that. I don't know how their algorithm works, but I'm not worried about it. Oh, there we go. Okay, 16. That's it. Keep them coming, people. Keep those likes coming. Rally, rally, rally. We're not going to talk about anything until we get up to at least 20. God. At least 20 likes, people. We need 20 likes. Do we have 20 likes? I see 18, 18, 18. Do I have 20 likes? 20 likes. Let's go for 20 likes. Come on. Let's go. 20 likes. 20 likes. We're stuck at 18. Stuck at 18. Nope. Want 20 likes. Want 20 likes. Hi, Faith. I'm subscribed, but my name hasn't come up yet. I don't know what you mean, because you're here. We can see you. Brenda's here. Hi, Brenda. And Dee's here. Hi, Dee. Oh, we hit 21. Do I hear 22? Do I hear 20? 22 likes. 22, 22, 22. Come on. 22. We got 22. We've got 22. Let's go for 23. 23 likes. Do we have 23 likes? Let's go. 23 likes. 20, 20, 20. 23. That's only 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Let's go. 20, 20, 20. 23 likes. 23, 23. Okay. I guess I wouldn't make it as an auctioneer. Yes, like button is supposed to boost your algorithm so you get into people's recommended list. Yeah, something like that. Whatever. Okay. Well, that's fine. So, let's start things off with what Walter's been working on, because he has been.
Yeah, well, I did a bit of embroidery this week, and I did, we went to a sewing thing yesterday, a live sewing event, and I have what I call my bag of shirts, which are shirts that are cut out, ready to go. Sewn, so ready to be sewn together. So I sewed most of a shirt together. I just have to put the buttons on. So this is what I've made. I made this shirt.
Way back. Ooh, so pretty.
So,
God, that'll look gorgeous on me.
yeah. So I just have to put buttons on it. And then I did some embroidery this week. I'm trying to make panels for bags so that I can get started on doing some bags. And so I've got this panel done.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I've got this
But
one.
I use that design.
Yeah, I know. And
but
I've got
it was too
this
busy.
one done as well.
Oh yeah, but mine was too busy.
So,
Too busy.
but I also raked leaves today.
Yeah, for
So,
10 minutes.
No,
Hi, Ron.
not for 10 minutes, for about an hour.
Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Laura. What? Walter worked on sewing items? Yes, passes out on the floor. Yeah. Hi, Andy. Yes, he did. He worked on those things. He's just got this big spurt of energy here. Now, if only you could paint the frame
Yeah,
on the
I know.
door.
I got to paint the frame on the
It
door.
would be nice to move the deacon's bench back into there.
Okay. I'll do that right. I got to tape the door off. I'll do that later.
Laura says your Christmas panel is pretty. I think it's a bit busy.
What's the fabric and designer of the first shirt, Walter? I'm not sure. The fabric is quilting cotton. I can't remember what the designer is. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, and don't know. Yeah, I have no idea on that one.
Yeah.
Because I've never bought any of that fabric.
Actually, I know. I remember now. I told somebody about it at Course of Quilting, but I didn't. I bought it at Annie's. I remember that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Because I bought a matching blue fabric that is just has
Kay says from the Purple Wall, it's lovely, Walter. Hi, Kay. We have to stop meeting like this, Kay. If any, what people don't know is Kay, I did an interview with Kay of the Purple Wall this morning, and that interview goes up in a couple of weeks' time. I did 3 interviews in the last 2 days. So we're going to have an interview up next Tuesday. That's with Terry Rowland. And she's Canadian. She's out west in BC. And then I did an interview with Begs by Myrna, and that's there too as well. It'll come up the week after, and then Kay's. So I'm on a roll. Okay. I did put out a request for an interview. Someone recommended her quilting in the loft, and she did respond. She said she was going to check out my YouTube videos, the ones that I had done of previous interviews, and then she'd get back to me. Well, that was a couple of days ago. I haven't heard anything back from her, so I don't know if I've scared her off or it's just not her cup of tea, as my mother used to say. So I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe she just hasn't had a chance. So we'll see. Mozilla says, hubby could use some new summer shirts. I might be able to get some done for his birthday in July. Okay. Oh, when's his birthday in July? My birthday's in July too. Yep, Laura, I have been busy with the interviews and they've been great. All 3 are just really great interviews, so you're going to really enjoy them, I think, because very talented people. Okay, very talented, all 3 of them. So look forward to that. First one will go up this Tuesday coming. That'll be with Terry Rowland, who's all the rage right now with doing scrap quilts. But her quilts are so much more than scrap quilts. They are quite the thing. So, but you'll see. So that's all you've been working on?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Okay. Kelly's here. Hello, quilters. I'm currently on an iPad while the video for part 2 of the medallion quilt uploads on my laptop. Okay. Oh, July 20th, same day as my dad's was. Oh, that's interesting, Mozilla. Mine's the 14th, Bastille Day. The whole of France has a national holiday on my birthday. Yeah. It's because of me. Hi, Teresa. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, I've been a busy little beaver. And I'll just get them up here so you can see. So, I'm still working on these blocks. This is Stephanie Stitch's Mosaic Star quilt. I think I've got 2 more blocks to make, and then I can lay them out on my design board and start getting them together. I think it's going to be a really pretty quilt, because these are those fabrics that Walter bought me last Christmas, the ones called Pour. They're based on paint pouring, and they're fantastic colors. And this design is definitely going to show them off for sure. And I've been making bags too. Now I've got mine hanging up. I haven't finished them all. I got to make about a dozen. I have 4 done, I think, right now. So, but mine are busy. Mine are very busy. According to Walter, just busy, 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 busy.
Well, at least you can see the embroidery on this one.
You could see it on the other one too.
The other one was too busy.
Was not.
This one's not bad.
Oh, high praise. Yeah. Well, my bags are for everyday use. You're making couture bags. Yours are designer bags. Are those the bags you're going to give to next door?
Yeah, probably.
We don't know how many she wants.
I know. I'm just going to give her some. I'm not going to say, well, how many do you want?
No. Give her 2. Maybe 3. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, so yeah, madly making bags. And okay, people, this is not quilted yet, but I finished it this morning. This is the one that's the block of the month. It's called Lakeside. I've been working on this since March. We finally got the last of the pattern pieces. Oh, I'll tell you, that border, the one that's got the points in it, that was sheer hell. I put it together a couple of times, and I put it together, the pieces in the wrong order. And part of the problem is that there's so many different fabrics in this. And that was my fault, because I chose the fabrics for this quilt. I love them. And actually the picture doesn't really do it justice.
No, actually it looks better on your computer than it does up there.
Yeah, on that screen. Well, maybe on their screen it'll look a little different too. It depends. But yeah, I was going nuts. I had to label every piece that went into those blocks, and it was like AE, AE, AB, 8C, like all this kind of stuff, and then putting them in the right order, because the pieces, you can't tell really with this, but if you studied it, the left and the right borders are flipped versions of the other. And when you're looking at the diagram for putting this together, it's very easy in your mind, or at least in my mind, to flip it around. I swear I'm dyslexic. And the same with the top and the bottom. But I knew there was something wrong when I realized, I finally figured out what the pattern sequence was in this, because it wasn't that obvious at first. To me, it's obvious now when I look at it. But yeah, it's a big quilt. It's 95 by 96 inches. So it's just going to fit on Lucy. So I have to figure out what I'm going to use for quilting pattern. I guess I don't want to go too busy, because this is already a busy quilt. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking feathers, but I don't know if feathers are really right for this, because feathers are, you want to see the feathers, and any kind of quilting you do on this would probably be kind of lost.
Yeah, I would think you'd need a fairly open pattern.
Fairly open pattern. That's what I was thinking too. So we will see, and I will certainly show it. But yeah, this quilt was very interesting to do, and very hellish as well. Now, I think if I had limited my colors, or I had picked different colors, it might have been easier. Like some of the other ladies in the class, theirs look great too. But they stuck to a color scheme that's I don't know how you would put it, more subtle, I guess. I like bold and bright, so it's definitely my personality.
It does look really nice.
Yeah, I think it. Ooh, high praise from Walter.
And I can't find any mistakes in it.
There aren't any, because I caught them. I had to study every one of the bloody pieces in this when I was putting it together. And yes, I did put some pieces together wrong, but I tore them out. I took them back out, and I got them in there right. Because when you do one section, and because it's block of the month, you get a section done, but you're not necessarily putting it together with the quilt until you get another section, and those 2 sections will go together. And if those colors, they have to match. They have to match up to get the design. So I know you're busily studying it. You're trying to find one. You won't. You will not. You will not find a mistake in this quilt. I will tell you that right now. And Cheryl Curley, one of my subscribers, I don't know if Cheryl's on here today, I had put into my vlog last week or something that, okay, I was out of ideas for my 3D printer. And she said, why don't you make a chess set? Now, I don't play chess, but I thought, well, I'll take a look. Well, first thing I popped up were gnomes, gnome chess pieces. So I've made all these gnomes and for a chessboard. Now I'm looking for a design, a 3D printed chessboard. I've seen lots of them. Actually,
Why don't you make a cloth one?
why? I want him to be able to. Yeah, I'm not going to play chess. I don't know how to play chess. Um, but what I'm thinking of, I saw one they had the Star Trek three-dimensional chess ones, but some assembly was required to make those. I was looking for something not that complicated. And then there's ones they call Euclid ones, which are curved and would look cool, but then I don't know, your pieces may all fall off. So I don't know. I'm still hunting for that. But it was kind of a fun idea, I thought. So, and me and gnomes, right? So, and let's get back out of here. Okay, we're back here. So let's see, what are people saying? I'll get out of this. Okay. Thank you, Mozilla. Says good job on the quilt. Wow, beautiful, fantastic. Mona did what? Says, did I miss the other bags?
No, I just made bag fronts. So.
He's made bag fronts, and I showed a picture of my bags. I didn't show a
so
really clear one. I'm going to show those once I get them done.
Front,
but
that one and this one. This may be a back, front and back, and
yeah, we'll show these.
And this is my shirt that I made. I still have to put buttons on, but it's pretty much done. I have the hidden pocket.
They can catch it on the rerun.
Yeah, I know.
Like, let's butcher to death.
Okay.
Just because
I wanted to show that I did something.
Oh, okay, big deal. Let's see what I have. Love those Christmas bags. Love the bags. Very colorful. I really like design. Your bags are not busy to me. Thank you, Laura. You now go to the top of my Christmas list. Walter's way down at the bottom. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm basking in your praise about the quilt. Yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I hope I don't blow it when I quilt it. Should enter Lakeside into a contest. Yeah, no. No, I don't want to be crushed. Kelly says, because I know your name is actually Monica now, I keep forgetting. Yeah, that's Mozilla. I'm sorry, that's
Thanks,
Mona did what?
Thanks, Jeannie.
What's Jeannie say? I love your bag fronts and shirt, Walter. Yeah. Praise. So anyways, yeah, we've been busy boys. And in fact, yesterday we were at a sew day at the club with some of the people that Walter does his sewing class with online, and the guy who teaches the class, Brendan, he organized it. And I went, and I got a lot of things done. There weren't many of us. What was there, 4?
Yeah, there was 4, and then there was that young guy that came in and was sewing his dress.
Oh yeah, the young drag queen that came in and was making this lovely sequin gown, and it was a little bit over the top, but then so was he.
So he was doing pretty good. He's only 21 years old. And...
yeah, he would whipping that dress up pretty good. Yeah, so, and I would imagine that fabric he was using was probably a bitch to
yeah,
work
he said
with.
it was difficult to use, so it was
but we got a lot of things done. It's quite kind of enjoyable, and Brendan says he's going to have it the second Saturday of every month.
Yeah, well, that's what he was aiming for. And I think the next one he said is December 10th. I don't know if that's the second.
Yeah,
Saturday.
it is. Yeah, okay. It is the second Saturday of the month. So yeah.
Well, that's what he was aiming for, but then October 22nd, he couldn't do it on the second Saturday, so he went for the third Saturday.
Yeah, but that was because he was in Mexico, wasn't he?
No. In October, it was because the weekend before was like Thanksgiving or something, or not Thanksgiving. They did a show on a Friday night.
Oh,
and he said he'd be too tired the next day.
Yeah, because it's really hard work to lip sync. Watermelon. whatever. But whatever. But it was kind of fun. Got a lot done. There wasn't a whole lot of like chattering going
I
on.
went on different periods of time where somebody would,
Yeah.
come by and talk to you and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it was nice to, be there, the odd things to.
Something different. Something
Yeah.
different. I was tempted to tap in. I didn't take my iPad with me, but I was tempted to take it in and see if anybody would come on, from you guys, just to be a so day and a so day. But I thought, well, maybe that'll be awkward with the other people there. They won't want to do that, kind of a thing. And I didn't have my iPad with me anyways, to do that. So, and somebody did try to connect on with me yesterday. I noticed it came up on my email, but I wasn't home. Sorry about that. So, well, thank you, Bona. Kelly's Cruises says hubby and kids are both artistic. I can follow directions pretty well and am somewhat creative. Well, everybody's creative in one way or another. It doesn't necessarily just because you don't paint or just because you don't quilt or something like that. I'm sure there's other forms of creativity. Everybody's got something. Everybody has something, Just don't compare yourself to somebody else. Everybody has their talent. So, update on the grow lights. Things are growing. Yes, we have little green shoots coming up on our herbs right now, and Walter's going to plant some lettuce.
Just to see what happens.
Just to see what happens. Yeah. Especially at the price. We decided to go, was it Friday night? Yeah, Friday night. It's Thursday night. Thursday night we went over to Kelsey's Roadhouse place. We hadn't been there since before on COVID. And I kind of wanted nachos. Walter kind of did not. He wanted chicken wings. Well, they had chicken wing special that night or something. But we're looking at their menu, and they had changed their menu, and
it was very limited.
It was very limited, and I mean, you don't want to be on a diet because everything that was on that menu was high fat. Yeah. So I'm telling you this.
Including
I
nachos
wanted
and
nachos,
chicken wings,
yeah,
right?
and chicken wings, yeah. But then, so we're looking at the menu, and we said, okay, well, we're going to get these chicken wings, and I thought, well, I wouldn't mind a side salad. So I said to the girl, I'll have a side Caesar. We don't have Caesars. We don't have romaine. We can't get it.
Well, actually, technically, I think they can get it. It's just that it's really expensive.
Yeah, apparently there is something happening in California with the romaine crop. It got some kind of a virus. Viruses and everything, right? And E. coli or something too. And so that's reduced the supply for one thing, and the price is gone. Well, you said in the grocery store for hearts of romaine, it was
it was about $7.99 or something like that.
For what, a 3-pack?
Yeah.
Yeah, but those heads are not very big that they put in the hearts of the romaine. So yeah, you have to take out a small loan to buy romaine. So don't get a Caesar salad. But apparently,
yeah, Swiss Chalet had no lettuce the other week when we ordered some from them, and that seems to be common.
Yeah, Mona says that lettuce in Ohio is $4.79 a head. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's quite that if it's iceberg lettuce.
Iceberg lettuce was $4.50, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Which is usually it's like 99 cents.
Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, $4.79.
Hi, Dana. Yeah, well. Yeah, so now you can't even eat a salad. So crazy.
Yeah, $4.79 in US dollars is equivalent to $6.36 in Canadian dollars.
Holy crap. Well, we're not eating lettuce for a while. Actually, maybe what's the price of tomatoes?
We still have a couple of heads of lettuce.
Yeah, I know. We got the living lettuce. That's the best way. That living lettuce stuff.
Yeah, tomatoes aren't particularly cheap right now either.
So I can't do that salad. That one with the peppers and the things that pancetta.
Oh yeah, you can probably still do that.
I mean,
but the peppers are expensive too.
Yeah, well, figures. summer's time for salad, not the rest of the year. Yeah, well, we eat
This
salad all
week
year
I
round.
met, she says, M says, this week I saw a suit jacket made of quilted fabrics.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've seen some of those as well. That would be not bad. If I think you could make it look kind of nice.
Yeah. Hi, Adam. Yeah, I've been toying with the idea of making a quilted jacket. You know, like a patchwork kind of a thing. Except I don't know how to sew clothes. And I do
Well,
mention it.
actually, I do have the a jacket pattern that would work well with the
Oh yeah.
quilted. Yeah.
Well, we should look into this. We should try this. I can make the fabric and the patchwork, and you can cut it all out and make the jacket
Yeah.
with it. Good. Thanks you. Adam, you drinking? Laura says, get some hydroponic lights and grow your own lettuce in the basement. Well, we're going to try to grow it under the grow lights. I don't know how.
It might work okay because lettuce
Yeah.
likes it when it's cool.
Yeah, so
So,
we'll see. It's an
yeah.
experiment.
Yeah.
Our herbs, though, are coming up. I mean, they're only little teeny shoots at the moment, and but they are coming up. So we're playing around with it. We're seeing what happens. Em says Walter knows. Adam says I've been thinking the same. The I am Jacques pattern, super easy for patchwork jacket. Well, maybe we have to look that up.
Yeah.
And see what that's all about. But I think it would be kind of interesting to do something like that. And apparently quilted coats and stuff right now are all on trend, at least in ladies fashion for it. But yeah, if it turned out okay, I'd wear it somewhere. I don't know. So anyways, now we had a couple of comments this week that we want to respond to. The first one comes from Pamela Nestler, and Pamela's been on here before, and she said in her comment she would like to know more about the sous vide process from Walter. I'm a jock, quilted. No, I'm just kidding. So okay, you're gonna play with that?
No, I'm just writing this down.
Jeez, really?
Okay. Yeah. Well. I should have brought the sous vide down. I didn't. You kind of forgot about that. Yeah, you can get. You can look up sous vide anywhere on the internet. You can get different kinds of units. The one I have is just a stick, right? That looks
like a stick.
And it immerses into water and just basically heats the water to a specific temperature, right? And then what you do is you put, let's say, a steak or whatever you want to cook into a bag. You can use a Ziploc bag or something like that. Or what I use
bag sucker.
is a, what do you call that?
Bag sucker.
Yeah. Geez. It's a sealing food saver sealing bag. And it sucks all the air out of the bag and seals it so that it's encased in a bag. And what you do is you drop let's say a steak into a water bath, right? So, and you basically cook the steak into a water bath. You add herbs and spices to whatever it is. You can find tons of recipes online on YouTube and instructional videos on how to use it. And heat and seal. Yeah, that's what Adam So says. And you can put it into this water bath at a specific temperature. So you heat the water bath to however you like your steak cooked. If you like it medium, if you like it rare, you can set it to 131 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want it like medium, you put it at like 140 or whatever. And what it does is it cooks whatever you've got in the bag evenly all the way through, right? So that it cooks it all the way through, and you can leave it in there for up to about 2 hours or up to actually 4 hours for steak. And there's different stuff that you can cook that, like, I mean, if you put lobster in it or something like that, then they don't recommend you cook it for any longer than an hour because it can get tough. But with a steak, it'll get more tender the longer you cook it. if it's a tougher steak or whatever. And so after the heating process is done, and you decide, okay, it's time to take it out. When you take the meat out of the bag, it's cooked all the way through at the right temperature, but it looks kind of gray when you take it out. So what you should do is sear the steak on either side at the end. So what you're doing is you're doing like a reverse cook. You're cooking the whole thing all the way through. And then the final process is just to sear the outside to make it look more appetizing and give it some flavor. And the process is really great. And if you do things like chicken or whatever, your chicken stays moist and everything else. So a lot of restaurants use the process. You find restaurants use the process to this sort of cooking. And we thought we'd try it a little while ago, and that's the way I cook all my steaks, because I always have a tendency of overcooking the steak. And so I can get it done exactly perfectly. I go out and either sear it on the barbecue or I sear it in a pan on the stove at the end, type of thing. But you can look it up. There's various cookers you can get. The one I have is just basically an immersion stick blender. It looks like a stick blender, but it's an immersion heater that just heats the water up to whatever temperature you need it. And you put it into like a container, a pot, or whatever that will hold your whatever you're cooking.
Yeah, well, Adam says, I've seen it on cooking shows. They did stuffed chicken breasts that look delicious. We have not tried to do like something like that. We've used it primarily for prime rib and for steak.
Right.
With it.
But I have made creme brulee.
Creme brulee. I was just going to say, you made creme brulee in it too.
And I've taken the meat out of lobster tails and put them in a bag and cooked it as well, and it comes out perfect. Doesn't come out rubbery or
doesn't.
anything like that.
It's really good. It's one of those toys that Walter bought that really.
And see, I'd never really heard about it, but a friend of ours got a sous vide. What you can also get is you can get a container that actually heats the water to the right temperature. They're more expensive than the sticks that go into the water. You can buy it, and it's basically a pot that heats to a specific temperature and keeps it there.
Restaurants use sous vide all the time. If you've ever wondered how, if you go to a steak place, like say here in Canada, we have the Keg, and every time when you order your steak a certain way, it's perfect. It always comes out exactly the way you've ordered it. So I like my steaks medium rare, and every time at Kelsey's it comes out that way. And that's because
the Keg.
At the Keg, yeah. Because they use the sous vide method, and same with what Walter cooks. Same thing with it. So, they're not that expensive. They're what, $100?
$150 or $100 or $150 for a stick. I can go grab the stick. Just
grab your stick. Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds good. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Ezra. Ezra says, jacket jazz was big back in the mid-90s. It's a patchwork jacket style. You can still find the book at the library or Amazon. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. I think okay, I was used to calling you the purple wall. Yeah, and garlic butter. And actually, a lot of people will put other things in the bag with the steak too, depending on your taste, and it comes out well. Walter's done it with garlic butter before, and it's quite good. The Empty Nester says, hope you're all healthy and happy. Well, we are. Well, at least Walter and I are. I don't know about everybody else, but hope you are too, Empty Nester. Ew. Isri, that sounds good. Pamela, sounds like you love it. That's the main thing. I'm really tempted. Thanks for your thoughts on this. No problem. Glad you were here so you could hear him. Here, he's going to show it to you.
This is an Instapot one. It's an older model. And I bought it on sale on Amazon for
Okay, stop for a minute. It's made by the people that make the Instapot, is what you mean.
Yeah, it's made by the people that make the Instapot. However, the popular ones are called Anova. Anova makes them. I bought this one because it was on sale, and I didn't know if I would like using it, right? So I thought, well, for an experiment, I'll do it. It works perfectly fine, so I have no desire to replace it. And when it comes with this clamp, and the thing sits in there, and you basically clamp it to the side of a pot, right, using this clamp, and the thing sits down at the bottom of the pot and heats the water,
Looks like a kinky sex toy.
right? And you just set the temperature at the top here, and it'll go from anywhere from about 120 degrees Fahrenheit to almost 200 degrees, and it heats it evenly all the time. So it works really well. So
Yeah. Hi, Amy.
I mean, if I were to buy another one, I might buy a fancier one by the Anova group or something like that. But
What's the advantage?
there's no advantage. Some of them come where you can program it with an app and watch it and stuff like that. This one's fairly basic. I just set it.
There's an app for everything, isn't there? Adam says it'd be a great way for cooking lamb shanks with mint.
Yeah, that's if you like lamb
If you like
shank.
lamb shank, yeah. Well, I like lamb. but
Actually,
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know if it would work great with lamb shanks because
Hi, Dawn.
I'm not sure about braising with this method. I'm not sure how well it would work with braising. I've never thought of doing it that way.
Yeah, Adam says that looks dangerous. Yeah. Dana says I still have a couple of jacket patterns I was going to make, quilted jackets. Geez, Dana, can you find them? Maybe they're in the same place where you had the purse pattern. Yeah. Oh, hi, Stephanie. Stephanie's here. Yay. Nancy says, sounds like you guys really enjoy your cooking. I just am not a meat eater. Chicken, if anything. Well, Walter enjoys his cooking.
I mean, we don't have it all the time. Like we don't have steaks all the time, but once in a while, when we decide we want it, you can cook anything you want in it.
Yeah, Pamela, you could cook pork chops in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes it depends on what you want out of it at the end of it. Like, I mean, for me, the steaks are being able to cook it to a correct temperature.
Yeah. Adam
And,
says honey and soy salmon. Well, if you like salmon, it would be very good though for fish.
Yeah, it's good for any. I'm sure
We
it's
don't
good
like
for any
fish,
fish,
so-
but since we don't like fish, I don't.
No, we're not going to.
I mean, the
Fish will never
closest
touch
we
that.
like fish is lobster tails.
Yeah,
So
or shrimp, as long as they're not fishy. I don't like anything fishy. Walter can tolerate more fish taste than I can. I can't. I don't. If even I smell fish in a restaurant or something, it makes me just want to hurl in a corner with it. But yeah, I think they're worth the investment because we've done a lot of things with it. We've got a lot of use out of it. And when I say we, I mean Walter has, because I don't know how to use it. I've never used it. Walter does. Walter does all the cooking.
well, you can also use, if you don't want to invest in a sealer bag machine, you can just when I first got it, you can just put whatever you're cooking into a Ziploc bag and manually remove most of the air from the bag. So
Yeah. Well, Dana says, I know exactly, and I'm saying it the way she's written it, I know exactly where the patterns are. In a binder labeled quilted jacket patterns on a shelf in my basement. I can walk right to the binder. And yet you couldn't really find when you wanted it those patterns for those bags. Am I skeptical? I'm pulling your leg, Dana. You know that. And I know where the bag patterns are now. Yeah. Teresa had made a quilted jacket ages ago, take an oversized sweatshirt and take it apart, use each piece as a base to quilt on, then sew it back together.
that's a good idea.
That's
Teresa.
interesting. My problem is I would thought if you take a sweatshirt's usually kind of stretchy fabric, right? Quilting cotton's not so stretchy. I wonder if that would cause any kind of problem. I don't know. But anyways.
You could interface it too. So
the Kay says Teresa Dina, I never know how you say her name. Sitar did a tutorial on that method. Oh, okay. Oh, Dana's all ready to go with it. She's got a sweatshirt ready to go. Amy, have you seen that girl trying the fermented canned fish? Ooh, okay. Let's get away from the food.
it was bad enough that we saw atomic shrimp yesterday.
Yes, and he was eating, like, he has this, if you've never seen atomic shrimp, He's a guy in England. He has a YouTube channel, and it's very eclectic, the things he talks about. But he has sort of a series on there at various times where he talks about stuff in a can. And he gets
Weird stuff.
weird stuff in a can. Yeah, that's right. And he got this, he said it was probably carp.
Yeah, Hungarian fish soup, and it had two kinds of carp in it. He said it was
And
delicious.
Bones.
And bones.
There was some bones in there. Ooh, I don't know. But anyways, Mozilla made lots of sweatshirt jackets. Those are fun to make. Okay, I guess this is a thing. These sweatshirt jackets. Never heard of it. May have to do some investigation on this. Nancy did a buggy barn pattern Eve's sweatshirt. Okay. So I didn't know this was a thing. Learn something new every day. So there was another comment, and Stephanie is here. Stephanie asked, how did we meet? Okay. Well, let's see. Do we give them the clean version or the dirty version?
No,
we'll give them the clean version.
What year? Oh, that was 1983. Huh?
Yeah, it was 1983. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
Our anniversary coming up on it. 39 years. So it's been a while. Okay, here it is, sort of in a nutshell. I had recently come out, and I'll spare you all the gruesome details about that whole process. Anyways, I didn't know anybody who was gay, believe it or not. I had just started teaching. I could have been fired from my job in those days, can't now. But in those days, I could have been fired if anybody knew. So I was definitely underground for many, many reasons. Anyways, I was lonely. I didn't know any gay people. I'm on my own, kind of a thing. And so a friend of mine, well, it's not true I didn't know any gay people. I did have one friend. He was a gay guy. And I was telling him, I said, I don't know how to meet people. And he said, why don't you put an ad in the paper? Now, 1983, no internet, not really any personal computers per se, not the way we talk about computers today and all that kind of stuff. So I had to do it the old-fashioned way. Now, I put up resistance. I said I didn't want to do this. Because I'd seen the personal column in the newspaper, people looking for other people, and it just seemed kind of creepy and kind of like losers, big losers. And he said no, he had done it once, and he said he said you get a lot of interesting letters, to say the least. But I said, yeah, but I live in a triplex, an apartment, 3 apartments in this building, and all of our mail comes through a common slot, and I only lived 2 blocks away from the high school I was teaching at as well, and I was paranoid. He says, no. What they do is everything, the stuff comes to the newspaper, they pile it all up every day, whatever comes in, put it in a brown manila envelope and mail it to you. Nobody knows what's in there, nothing. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. So I did. But I didn't want it to be a glaring thing. Like, a lot of the personal ads that were there for gay people said, gay, in big neon letters. It seemed like gay, looking for gay. And I thought, no, I don't want that. So and they put it in alphabetical order. So I put, I think, professional male. Actually, thinking about it now, I might have thought I had a different type of profession. I don't know, street corner kind of thing. Professional male, seek same for socializing.
Yeah, because you couldn't put very much in words in the ad because it would cost.
Well, it cost you an arm and a leg, as it was, and I'm cheap. So, anyways, that's the gist of what I put in. I don't know if I had anything else in. I think that was pretty much it.
That was pretty much it.
And I didn't figure that I was going to have any luck with this, but I did it. And the first day, I had this envelope. It was fun coming home from school to get your mail. Had this brown envelope with stuff in it, and it was letters. Not a lot at the first day or so. I think I had maybe 2, 3. So I ripped them open and read them, and oh my God. Okay, over the course of 2 weeks, 2 weeks is how long that I had this going for, because that was kind of the standard thing, and I wasn't going to renew it. I got about 40 letters. And I wish I'd kept them. I really wish I'd kept them because it would really have made amusing reading. A couple of them sent pictures. Let's not go there, but let's just say, they were the equivalent of what people now sometimes put from their cell phone, personal selfies. Get my drift? Anyways, out of the 40 letters I got, 10 of these people I contacted, had phone numbers, talked on the phone, and went, yeah, no. I had to take a shower afterwards because I just felt so filthy with it all. 6 I actually did arrange to meet. And believe me, they were losers. Every one of them was a loser, those 6. So I was very, very discouraged about this. So on the very last day of when I could get anything from the newspaper without renewing the ad, I got a single letter. And guess who that letter was from? Now, you pick up the story about your side.
Okay, so my side, there was only one. I stopped trying to date women when I was about at one point in time, and then I just decided, okay, I'll try and live by myself for a while, and then I started getting lonely. So I did get this newspaper that it was actually the Toronto newspaper that had these personal columns in it, and I would look through the personal columns every once in a while, but I never really did anything about it. I did actually write a couple of letters which I never sent out, and so I remember. And I wouldn't answer anything that said gay in it. So, because I wasn't really comfortable with that word yet. And so I remember reading that advertisement that Steve put in, and I wrote this big long letter out.
Yeah, I don't remember what was in your letter.
I vaguely
blah,
remember it. I sort of vaguely remember it. And I basically said I was looking for a friend and stuff like that, right? And so...
how'd that work out?
Yeah, anyway, so I put the letter into my briefcase, and I was carrying it around for a little while, and didn't really get the nerve up to mail it right away. So I went, we went for drinks after work one time. So I had a few drinks, and I came out and I had this letter still in there, and I threw it into the mailbox in Toronto, actually. And he called me a little while later, so
yeah,
a few days later.
And when I got his letter, this is why I don't remember it. Being an English teacher, if anybody writes me anything, I analyze it to the nth degree. And I debate it. Am I going to call him? Am I not going to call him? He sounds kind of boring, but he's in the area. He lives in the town next door. Some of these other people lived. I got ones that were as far away as Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay, for those of you that aren't Canadian, Thunder Bay is like 1,000 miles north of where I live, kind of a thing. And, I was very discouraged. I just thought, this is not going to work. It was a tumultuous time in my life, kind of a thing. And so then I thought, well, what the heck? So I gave him a call. And he certainly did not disappoint me in my expectations when I had him on the phone, because I had no expectations.
Well, actually, he caught me off guard when he called me, and I'm going, oh, okay, this is this guy I sent a letter to.
I'm basically interviewing him on the phone, okay? And I'm getting one-word answers from him. Some things have never changed in life. And he sounded kind of ho-hum. I don't think you told me what you did for a living.
I think I did.
Maybe you did. You sound like an accountant to me, but it's just like boring. But you see, I was 26 years old. I was all about the knight in shining armor. I had this vision of what I was looking for, which was completely...
I was really skinny when you met me.
Yeah, well, that wasn't one of the requirements, but whatever. But it was, I had this vision, kind of like those romance novels with the guy with the long hair and his shirt off, the damsel in distress. I don't know. I was crazy. But anyways, So I decided after I talked to him on the phone, well, what the heck? We can meet, have a drink, talk, whatever. So he shows up at some point. We made an arrangement. And he shows up at my apartment. I opened the door and I took a look and went, okay, yeah, not quite on the horse. Nope, this one, but whatever. He had hair in those days. And he was skinny. He was skinny.
I used to run a lot.
But I was skinny as
and I was down, I had gotten down to I'm probably about 200 pounds right now. I was down to 130 pounds. So.
And I had dark hair. Well,
I had black hair.
I had coiffed hair. It was streaked. And it was not, that wasn't natural. I had that done. The streaking. It's natural now. But anyways, I invited him in. I gave him a glass of wine, and we sat there for several hours and we talked. And I was thinking to myself, well, okay, he's still kind of boring, but I'll be somebody that I could do dinner with. I could go out to a show with. I wasn't thinking relationship at that point because, but I thought he's a pleasant enough guy. He's local. We're both kind of lonely. So, a friend is always good to have, kind of a deal. So, anyways, that was that night. I'm not going to go into any other details.
Yeah, I know. And at first, we just said, actually, both of us kind of needed a friend to hang around with. So we ended up hanging around, actually, with more like you and some of your friends, some of your people that you taught with and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so we... yeah, we have a few pictures, but we'll have to dig them up.
Yeah, because you got to remember that in those days, pictures were done on film.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, we ended up becoming friends, and we ended up going to shows together and going out to dinner together and that sort of thing. And then what really happened was we started talking about that we had both wanted to drive out Western Canada for a holiday. And a year before, I was supposed to go with another friend, and he ended up getting a really good job, and that fell through. So, so I was talking to him, and he had the same vision that he'd like to go on this trip.
I'd always wanted to go drive out west.
So we went that summer. We drove out west actually I took 4 weeks off work, but actually we did it in 3 weeks.
We did it in 3.
And so we drove 2,700 kilometers from here to BC, British Columbia, and then all the way back through the northern United States. And basically that kind of cemented our relationship.
Yeah, and we were on a shoestring budget. I had taught summer school before we went just to have enough money to afford this trip. And we stayed in every flea bag hotel all the way across the West. And I'm telling you, we stayed in some real dives there. But it was a great trip. I still think to this day it was maybe I look back on it with a nostalgia and fondness, but I still think it was one of our best trips ever. It was our first one. And long story short, after that, we then were together. And but we did not live together for 4 years.
Yeah.
He had a house, a semi. I was in an apartment. We're both very cautious people. Like, we didn't rush into anything on it. And then we finally decided, okay, we're going to take the plunge, but we're going to buy a house. And so we bought a brand new house. We watched it being built and the whole bit. And that was our first house. And yeah, the rest of it's history down the way too. So anyways, Stephanie, there's the story with it. Albeit the PG version of it. Never mind, Adam, you just stop. I know what you're thinking. You filthy boy. Okay, what are people saying here? Rebecca's here. Hi, Rebecca. Over here, and Rebecca's in Norway, we get meat already done with sous vide, just heated up in water, and it's perfect. We had sous vide last Easter without buying new toys. Something. Well, sous vide cooking is kind of European too, so we're probably late to it. Brenda made 2 quilted sweatshirt jackets okay, this sweatshirt jacket thing is a thing.
Mm.
And just and I used an unfinished Bargello quilting project for the front of the last one. Turned out well. Um, Adam says, I don't want to sound patronizing or condescending, etc. It's such a nice story to hear. I really, really appreciate sharing this, as I don't think a lot of gay people quite realize how much easier it is. Very true, Adam. Very true. Today, the young people, like this young guy we were talking about earlier at the Sew Day thing that's a drag queen. He was working on his gown for it. 21 years old. He was there with his other half, his partner, kind of a thing. And, to him, no big deal with that.
mean, all through this whole process, you have to realize that we were pretty much in the closet when we met.
Well, we had to be.
And yeah, we had to be.
We had to be.
It was, over the years, a fairly learning experience for two guys to be together type of thing. And
no, I still remember how people used to look at us in a grocery store with one cart.
Yeah.
And we're walking down the aisle together, and I'm picking things out and putting them in the cart. And
we still occasionally get that, not very often,
but not that often. Very rare actually now. But anyways, yeah, thank God. That's how the world has changed, at least in Canada, for the better. Laura says, the story's great, guys. I didn't know you had met a few guys through the ad, Stephen. It's a great story of how your relationship grew. That's awesome. Yeah, like I said, there's other stories, but I can't.
Actually, it's the only only personal ad I ever answered was his. So I never answered any other. I mean, I did answer a couple, but I never sent the letters. So
yeah. Stephanie says, thank you so much for sharing stories. So great to know a bit more about you both. Yeah, well, we're blank.
Yeah, so we're proof that newspaper ads worked.
Yeah, they had. Yeah. Personal ads very popular back in those days. Yes, they were. Wonderful story. I'm glad Walter got drunk enough to send that letter. Yeah. Well, there are days. Says, Darren and I get it. Some people are still too uncomfortable to understand the whole. Yeah. Francis, I'm enjoying the story. Gay or hetero, it's not always easy to find someone to talk to or enjoy time with. I met my guy in chat after a 22-year marriage that ended in divorce. Yeah, so, it can work. How were your neighbors around your first house?
Okay, well, my very first house when I met him, I was in a semi-detached house, and it got egged a couple of times.
Yeah, wasn't there some dog shit thrown on it too?
Yeah, no, was that? Yeah, I think there was dog shit on it.
Too, yeah.
And
well, there was trailer trash living next door to you. So.
And then we had a couple of problems in our first house. Yeah. Somebody water ballooned our house.
Yeah.
And somebody else threw eggs on our house too. So.
And the next door neighbor in our house when we first moved in, it was a new subdivision. So all the houses were new. They were brand new homes. And we kind of were in the house and we see the neighbor out in their, right next door in their driveway and went, hi. The guy looked at me.
He didn't say a word.
And walked right into his garage and shut the garage door. Now, the thing was, we're pretty sure he did not have an entrance inside of his garage into his house, which meant he would have had to come out of the garage to get back inside his house. I said to Walter, let's get a couple of lawn chairs and a bottle of wine and sit out here and see if he ever comes out. We didn't do that. But that was they never.
That was 1987.
Yeah, that was 1987. So... yeah, so there were a few problems.
In this subdivision, we did have a few problems in this subdivision, but we don't know if it's because we were gay or what. But that was way back when we first moved in, and that was in 1995.
And they weren't major problems.
Well,
what do you think?
Well, there was a couple of times where somebody left a beer bottle on my car.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was an other time where somebody tried to break into my car. Now, I don't know if that had...
But I don't know if that had anything, because there was a rash of those kind of things happening. Yeah. So I don't know about that. But, yeah. But, the way we look at it now, at this age, is if someone has a problem with us, that's their problem. It's not ours.
Mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes you can have fun with that. So, if you're in the right mind. Yeah, well, that's the way the life was at the time. But we survived it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Empty Nurse says, not gay here, but have been around the gay community here in Australia for years. It still annoys me that people think that gay people have leprosy. So disrespectful. Yeah. Although we have been to the Pride Parade in Sydney, Australia.
Mm-hmm.
That was something. Wow.
Boy, there's a lot of drunks there.
Wow. That was, geez, that made, we thought Toronto was bad, but holy crap. Australia, those people have a good time. I will tell you that for sure. They definitely have a good time. Yeah, we're glad the times have changed since the 80s too. But you know, they're little pockets still. But like I said, they're a minority.
Like, I mean, there's a neighbor 2 doors down. The husband says hi to me every time he walks by. The kid says hi to me every time he walks by. I think they're evangelical.
Yeah.
And
she especially.
The woman comes by. I've said hi to her a dozen times, and she never says. She ignores me.
Yeah.
So
booga booga. I touch you, you turn gay. That's how it happens. Yes, we're recruiting. Don't you know?
Well, actually, the husband walked by a while ago, and actually, I had a conversation with him, and we were talking about the neighborhood, and I said, yeah, well, when we first moved in, there was a rash of break-ins and stuff like that. And he says, well, how long you been living here? Because they weren't original owners. And I said, well, we were original owner. We've been here for
27
years,
now,
right?
Almost 28.
And he says, wow. And I think he was surprised that we had been living there that long. Like, because maybe the concept that gay people don't stay together or whatever. So
yeah, well, I mean, we're about to have our 39th anniversary. So, and we've been married 17 years. So, yeah. But we don't count our wedding anniversary as an anniversary. That was just payback to the Straits from all the weddings we went to and when they invited us and we had to give them gifts.
Well, not only that, it sort of cemented the relationship a bit more, we thought. So,
well, yeah, it does put us in the eyes of the law. Like, it gives us a little stronger ground for whatever. In fact, we have a friend who just passed away. You've heard us talk about this friend. He's been in the hospital. He had a brain bleed back in the summer, and he just passed away in the past week. His other half, his partner, we've been wondering about how that's all going to work out for them if they had put things in.
Yeah, because they're not technically
weren't
married. So, and technically in Canada, if you're two people, whether you're male and female or two males living together, technically you're considered what they call common law relationship, and you basically have marital rights type of thing in Canada, regardless of whether you're married or not.
Yeah. So we don't know how that's working out for him right now. So, because things are still, in the process, because the other guy passed away first of the week. And I think was it. But what are people saying here? Happy anniversary. The gay couples. Andy says the gay couples I know have been in marriages that have lasted longer than most hetero married couples I know. Yeah, that could be. Don says some of the best friends I've got are gay and fun as hell to hang out with. Thankfully, you all can be yourself. Yeah. Well, who else would we be? We still do. We do know some gay couples though who they've been together for a long time, but they're not out at all. They which is sad because they're not young people. They're people.
A lot of times, people from our age group had a hard time actually coming out. So
yeah, Selena asks, when you got married, did you share your surname? Nope. We kept our maiden names. Yes.
But in Canada, very often male female couples don't take each other's names anymore. My nephew's married, but his wife has her maiden name. Yeah. And we know quite a few other couples that are exactly the same. There's no reason why we should do that.
No, we could have hyphenated it, but it would have been Vandergran.
Oh God,
Bland.
forget it. Mine's 12 letters long, and his is like 5 letters.
But we never even considered it one way or the other. We just automatically we were keeping our names. We didn't even talk about that.
No,
I
think we did it in passing at one point, say something about that, and we said, nah. I don't want your name.
Well, you see, I think women should keep their names.
I do too.
I
It's
don't.
like there's a lady I used to work with that had a Dutch last name. And I said to her, because I have a Dutch background, I said to her, "Oh, you have a Dutch last name." And I sort of assumed that she was Dutch, but she said, "No, my last name is like," she gave an English last name. And she says, "No, that's my husband's name." She says, "I'm so sorry I took it." Because everybody thinks I'm Dutch.
Yeah. Well, Selena says, "Whose name would you have taken if you wanted to?"
No,
No, that wasn't even in the.
it wasn't even
No,
discussed. There's no.
I'm not going to be Vandergrind.
I'm not
He
going to
was
be
kind of
bland.
No, wasn't even it wasn't even a point of discussion.
You know, for years I hated my last name because it was so long, right? And because I used to never give the pizza guy my last name, I'd just say it was Smith. So because I didn't have to spell it. So
Well, why? People still. Mine only has 5 letters in it, and they still mispronounce it, or they spell it wrong. They call me blonde, or they put bland with an E on the end of it, or they call me land. Well, that's usually the Chinese. Oh, that's not land! But with it, but whatever. Teresa says, taking your husband's name is just a throwback to a memory. Yeah, that's true, and refuse to be owned. Yep. But anyways, well, is there our meeting was not really a hallmark moment as far as romance is concerned. But anyways, there's other details, but we're not getting into them. So, anyways, that's the end of that story. Let's move on. Okay, so you notice in the title talked about dog attack. Well, our niece has a Doberman who's a suck called Freddie. And Freddie got attacked by 3, as our niece said, they were 3 pit bull style.
yeah, or pit bull like, I'm not sure. Dogs.
And they did she was out walking Freddie, and these dogs were not on a leash from what we understand,
Yeah.
and they attacked Freddie. And Freddie had to go immediately to the vets and get stitched up. We haven't seen the aftermath of it, but it was pretty bad. I think he's going to recover okay, but okay, I'll say it. I don't know who the people were with the dogs. She does, and the whole bit, and I don't know if she's reported it or
It's
what.
it's been
Did she report
reported
it?
to. The thing is that the city bylaw or whatever officers and that they don't consider dog on dog attacks serious.
Unless a
Right.
human's
Unless
involved.
a human. Now she did get a scratch, I think, from one of the dogs, and they're taking that seriously. But and the people that own these dogs were renters,
Let's not call them people. Let's call them what they are: trailer trash.
and they renters of a house, and they had 3 dogs. They weren't supposed to have all 3 or something like that. And they tried to hide the fact they had 3. And apparently one of the neighbors outed them and said that they had 3. And so I'm not exactly sure what's happening, but they have been reported. And I don't know exactly what's happening with that.
Yeah, so we don't know. But anyways, that's in this day and age, everybody knows about leash laws and the whole bit. I do, okay, maybe I shouldn't, but I feel sorry for the dogs because if, depending on how far these charges go, those dogs could be taken away, could be destroyed. And is it the dog's fault? Dogs, they're like children. They, the way
But
they're raised.
some of these breeds are it's in tune in them to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, if you encourage it too.
Yeah.
And it just sounds
Well,
to
not
me.
only that, the owner didn't have them on a leash.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. So, piece of trailer trash, really for it. So I hope she does something. Poor Freddie. I mean, and Freddie is a Doberman, but Freddie is like a sock. He's a gentle dog.
Well, she had it on a leash.
Yeah.
She was walking the dog and she had it on a leash. In fact, she had a can of pepper spray with her. and she wasted, or she used the entire pepper spray on these other dogs, and they weren't backing down. So
Yeah. So I mean, she could have been really badly hurt too
yeah.
in all of that as well. But I don't know what I would do. I probably would have got right in there and just been kicking and beating the shit out of them if it
Well, I
had
guess she
gone up
was
from there.
trying to,
Well,
but
she probably was trying to, but you
but
know,
then neighbors got involved in this and altercation, and they were able to separate them. And one of the neighbors took my niece and her dog to a veterinarian, as somebody that was totally unknown to her.
yeah,
And the guy stepped up and said, "I'll take you to the vet." And she says, "Well, my dog's bleeding in your car," and he says, "I don't care. I'll just take you."
yeah. There's the exact opposite of those people that own the dogs that attacked Freddie. This guy, you know, like right there. Where people saying, Andy says my state is a 2-bite state after that dog gets taken and put down. Okay. Um, Francis, I'm so sorry for Freddie and his family. My brother lost his socks to 2 violent dogs that made their way to brother's property. So sad. Yeah. Poor Freddie. Hope he's okay physically, emotionally. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't seen him. And Adam says it's the owner's fault 100%. The dog will only behave to that way they are trained or lack of training. Exactly. Yeah, it's the owner's fault. Yeah. And
Here, well, the thing I'm worried about, okay, they don't do anything supposedly if these dogs attack another dog, but what about if it was a kid? I
yeah,
mean, and these dogs are dangerous.
yeah,
In my way of thinking, I'm thinking, okay, it attacked a dog, but what if there was a kid playing in a front yard and these dogs were loose? Would they attack the kid?
yeah. Well, Amy says no, bully breeds are not typically affected by pepper spray. Neither are
Mm.
Rotties. Um, yes, and then Andy says someone I know has a Rottie that was attacked by a smaller dog. Now the Rottie has to be kept away from other dogs because it has become reactive. Yeah, you know,
Yeah, we don't know what Freddie will do now.
no,
Out,
Fred,
yeah.
it might change Freddie's personality
Yeah.
too, you know. So I mean, we're never around Freddie. So in fact,
Well, I've only ever seen him a couple of times, and he
I don't
was
think I've ever seen him
no.
except in pictures. Um, so I don't know. Poor thing. But you know, irresponsible dog owners, really. I mean, well, it's just a terrible thing. But luckily, Karen wasn't hurt
Mhm.
too. But poor
Yeah,
Freddie.
his name is Karen.
Yeah, she's a Karen. No. So on other battlefronts, those of you that live in this area in Ontario, you will know that Ford backed down to CUPE. That's the Union for the Education Support Workers that we were talking about a week or so ago. They went out on strike. He backed down. He was supposed to, now I think that's this Monday coming, isn't it? He's supposed to repeal the legislation that was freezing their wages and the whole bit, and declaring their strike illegal. So they have said, okay, they went back in to their jobs. However, they may have won a battle, but the war's not over yet. He's got something else up his sleeve, the piece of shit that he is. Sorry about the language, but that's what he is. Putin politics right here in Ontario. Yep. But you know, I thought good for CUPE, for the education workers. They stood their ground. And they were fighting against a bully. And that's what he is. He is a bully. Now, the thing is, they've gone back to the table. They've changed, both sides have changed their offers. However, they are still not close to each other. And of course, the newspapers, they make it, the way they report it, they make it sound like the education workers are being unreasonable because they want so much. Well, no, they started high because that's what you do in negotiations. And of course, the other side starts low, but the other side was the government and they weren't going to budge. off of their
In fact, the
ridiculous amount.
education workers dropped what they were asking for
Yeah.
quite a bit. So
Yeah, they dropped it from 11% down to about 6 point something percent. And the government only came up 0.5%. And still with restrictions on it, like if
and
it
still way below the cost of
of
living.
living
So.
and the whole bit. And these people don't get paid that much money to start with. So yeah, so the war's not over yet, but the war's going to be compounded not too far down the road, because the next big union that's up is the OSSTF, which is the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation, one of the strongest unions not only in Ontario but across Canada. And even though they're an Ontario union for the high school teachers, but they're very, very strong. And he's not going to be able to pull those tactics with them at all. So he's in for a real fight coming up with all of this. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's an asshole. He's just a complete asshole. What are people saying here? It says dogs with prey drive are never affected by sprays or shouts. I have a Jack Russell and small but prey driven. Oh, okay, I've never heard that term, prey driven. Amazing partners. Yes, they are. Okay. Naomi says, as a person with 10 plus years in animal services as an officer, I've had more risk with small dogs like Chihuahuas, Dachshunds, etc. over bully breeds. Oh, we have a Chihuahua lives next door to us. You don't need a burglar alarm system because all that dog does is yap. If we're out in the backyard or up on our deck and Mia is out there, it's and I've wanted to pet. They walk Mia all the time, and I kind of like Chihuahuas because my grandmother had a Chihuahua, and half the time they're afraid of their own shadow. But this little one, but I don't know if he'd actually, or she, I think it's a female, Mia. Yeah. I don't know if she'd actually attack you or not, but I'd like to be able to. I just want to grab her and pet her, but the dog would probably have a heart attack or try to bite me, I'm sure. But all the time.
I'll have to dig up a picture of Freddie so we can show you. And
I did an embroidery thing for Karen last Christmas of Freddie. Actually, from one of the pictures she had, I was able to digitize it and do that. And now I have a bed for Freddie too for Christmas. That ugly quilt. Freddie won't care. What are people saying here? Nancy says, sounds like me in the U.S. for a college. Don't pay either. Chihuahuas want to see the world burn. No. Sounds like Trump. Oh, yeah, Don. Yeah. He's very Trump-like, Ford. Yeah. I work at the college and they pay less than anyone as a part-time individual. Yeah. Well, we have a crisis in education right now. We have a crisis in our healthcare system right now, and all of that has been caused by him and his party. They purposely are creating these situations for us. He's got to go. Really. He's got to go. But anyways, what can you do? Adam says, my Kyla, she's a three-quarter Chihuahua, and she's feisty, but she has never in 13 years bitten or hurt anyone. Yeah. And Amy says, my hubby has quarter-sized scars all over his leg from a Chihuahua. Oh, okay. Well, when you're that little, they probably have a Napoleon complex. I bite you. I chew your ankles. I'm a little ankle biter. But anyways, I was really glad to see that the education support workers stood their ground against this asshole. And I hope they get something fair out of all of this. It's going to be a long fight for them yet, though. But they have said they will go back out. Again, if they don't want to be reasonable with them in the negotiations a little bit, they will go back out. So, good. I support them. No problem. I know how important they are in the school system, believe me. So, anyways, what other things are... do we have anything on the horizon? Something exciting? What are we doing? Nothing? You got to paint the frame around the door.
Yeah, I got to paint the frame around the door.
That would be nice. We have to figure out what we're going to do for a burglar alarm system now that ours is hacked away from putting the new doors in. Yeah, things to do, things to figure out. And what else is coming up? Well, Americans have Thanksgiving
Yeah.
coming up,
And then they'll have Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah, and yeah, and our what's this? Selena says, Adam, so is this Kyla camera shy? Have you ever shown her on your channel?
I think
Yeah,
you've had Adam, you've had your dog up, and you were holding
yeah, one of your dogs.
one of your dogs.
Yeah,
I don't
one of
know
your dogs.
which one.
It's always
but-
there too. Such a little cutie it is. But every time I see somebody's pet, I want to get another cat. But I don't know. Laura says we're having
Problems probably.
problems with Ford 2 in my profession, city planning. He has changed his legislation to favor the developers and taken away
Decision
making from municipal councils. Yeah, I know. He's
Yeah, well, he's
Quilter.
coming down on anybody that works in the public sector.
Yeah. And he's basically trying to wreck our healthcare system so it can go private. And, well, we know how that
And I
works
still
out.
think that part of the reasons he's doing things with the education system is he wants as many kids out there to be in what do you call it? Either in private schools or learning from home, so that they can get rid of teachers, get rid of custodians, or get rid of support workers in the school system and close schools.
Yeah, I hate him too, Laura. In fact, now this won't mean anything to too many other people, but it almost makes you wish we had Harris back in power. And we thought he was bad when he was there, another conservative. So I guess in the States, it's still up in the air about who's controlling the houses and Senate and everything.
I think the Senate supposedly still has. They announced today that it was supposed to be Democratic, but I don't know how that works because I think there was
See you later, Mona.
an even split. But
Yeah. But the thing you see is now you might not think that American politics affects us in Canada, but it does. And it has, the Republicans basically are showing the way for the conservatives in our country. They take their cue from the Republicans, and that is very, very scary. So yeah, we are somewhat following what's happening in the States as well, because it does affect us. Believe it or not. Senate is Democrat. Stephanie says House is still in the air. Okay. So anyways, we're cheering for the Democrats for obvious reasons, like Republicans, conservatives. We have our Conservative Party. They are the Republicans of Canada. So yeah, assholes. Everywhere there's assholes. But anyways, well, I think that's it for us for today. So thanks for joining us, and I guess, well, it looks like
okay, half and half means the vice president settles the tie.
Oh,
Okay, I see that.
That's interesting. Well, we know where she'll go. She'll go to the Democrat side because she is a Democrat. Adam says, I delivered to a customer this morning. She opened the door while looking in her kitchen at her Labrador and said, "Oh, you've ate my pot plant." Oh, doggy was on his back with legs in his air going, ah! And Francis says it's tied in the Senate right now until Georgia runoff. Yeah, okay. I don't know. American politics, really, I don't know. Does anybody really understand how they work? It's
I know a little bit
weird.
about it.
Well, yeah, but that's...
I had to look up what a runoff was, so...
Yeah, you say runoff, I'm thinking water. But
Run away,
run away, yeah. Well, anyways, okay. I think that's it for us today, people. So everybody have a really good week. We're hoping for the best outcome in the American politics. And yeah, so thanks for joining us. And we'll see everybody next week. So
yeah.
Say goodbye, Walter.
Goodbye.
Bye, all.